Do you remember the time? Do you remember the time? You know the song, right? Do you remember the time? So, welcome to another Drama is Life, where we are going to be discussing mental and social topics across the lifespan to bring awareness and decrease the stigma of mental health among our community, particularly among African American and faith based communities. And so it's perfect that today is our holiday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. His birthday was officially, of course, yesterday, but they celebrated on that Monday following. So, absolutely been talking about leaving a legacy with this being the month of January. People are usually doing their resolutions, right? People are typically doing that. So I thought we would be on a nice stream topic to talk about leaving a legacy for this entire month. I think it's an appropriate month because, of course, this is the month that we celebrate MLK, and he absolutely left a legacy. Not him only, but several of our African American pioneers that pursued civil rights, the freedom, equal rights to African Americans in America. So, or we may say blacks in America. So, or black people in America. We get that correct. So, hello again. I'm Theresa White. I am the CEO and founder of End Time Creative Counseling Services. I am your podcast host. Drama is Life, where we have these conversations. And so, with it being a holiday, I said we're going to make it a little short today, but I think I'll definitely want to hit on the point of remembering. So the term remember, when you got that word or the paper back from school, and sometimes, you saw it, you just knew you did a good job, and you were going to look at it and you saw redo. Immediately like, oh man. Or maybe it was a good thing. Maybe you didn't get the grade you wanted to get on it, but you also get to redo. So it means that you get to do again. And so member, as we know, become a part. So it's saying that we need to come together again, bring together again. So when we say, do you remember? Are you bringing together again what you have learned from the past, bringing it to our present so that we can impact our future, which is the whole purpose of Drama is Life. So we can actually take what we have been doing in the past, whether we've liked it or not liked it, have it be present now so that we can have it impact our future for generations to come so we can leave a legacy. So we know that MLK absolutely left a legacy with his speech, I Have a Dream. I can't play it because of copyrights laws and Facebook and all these other different sites that we typically are on would not allow us to play it. But I definitely encourage you to look it up. If you have not heard it in its entirety, please look up the I Have a Dream speech. And if that's a way that you listen to it, because I believe we all have dreams. We all have this burning desire inside of us to do something great. Even if over time we may have felt like I may not do that, or I'm just going to be doing the status quo. There's still something in you that says, there's more, and I want more, whether you pursue it or not. I am so grateful that we have pioneers that have pursued it and have left a legacy of pursuing equal rights, pursuing civil rights, and pursuing the respectful treatment of all people. And in this case, particularly African Americans or Black people in America, that we are treated with dignity, with respect, as others would be treated. And so it's really important, especially I definitely take that very personal because that's one of the reasons of why I started this practice, as it is our 4-year anniversary or birthday this month. And as I say that, let me remind, we are having a celebration and we're doing something in the community every month to celebrate being four. This month it's January. So January 27th is a Friday. And I want to make an announcement. Please share it even if you're not able to join us that Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be having a movie at AMC Movie Theater. And we welcome you to join us. The movie is Avatar. I think it's called Way of the Water. Don't quote the past title. I think it's Way of the Water. So it's at 3 o'clock. It is not, you don't have to pay for it. It's something that we're doing for the community, but there are limited seats and you do have to RSVP by January 25th, which is next Wednesday, 5 p.m. And you can RSVP by emailing our marketing director, and it's Alyssa, Alyssa, at endtimeccs.com, or you can call our office and RSVP, leaving a voicemail. It is open to the community, so we welcome, and it's not open, this is for adults only. We have done great things for our children in the month of December. We want to leave a legacy of self-care and that our caregivers, as we talked about in a couple of episodes prior, deserve care as well. So this is a way that we're going to give back to our caregivers, our parents, adults. If you don't have children, we're not saying you can't come. We want you to still come and enjoy, but this is not for anyone under the age of 18, because we know that we celebrate it and they get all the big things. I want this to be a time that we give back to our adults. Yes, we're for, but we want to give back to our adults here. So that is how we want to leave a legacy of self-care as well, being action-oriented and giving back to our community. With that being said, back to remembering. The words of the song that I was just singing, the chorus is by Michael Jackson, as you all know, and snap. And immediately you see the video, right? You see him coming in the Egyptian garbs and all the things. He was just a phenomenal artist. And so I respect his, I don't want to say hustle, but I respect his gift. So with that, it says, do you remember when we fell in love? And the words after that say, we were young and innocent then. How do you remember how it all began? It just seemed like heaven. So why did it end? And so he's talking about a relationship. But the words when we were young and innocent. So again, do you remember the time? And it's important that if we're going to impact our future for ourselves and for others, even a legacy for future generations or for the generation that is here now, if we're going to leave a legacy, we have to remember, we have to pull back and reconnect events, or connect, even, connect again. As we said before, with what remember means and what member means, to do again, bring again back to our minds what was done before. And I know sometimes it's not easy to go back and remember. Sometimes we are trying, I want to forget. I don't want to think about the past. I'm staying in the present to the future. Well, it's really difficult for you to ignore the past. I'm not saying live there, but you can let it impact you in a positive and healthy manner to say, I won't do that again, or I've learned from that mistake. I've done this and this and this. I say that because even our biological bodies is influenced by the past. It's influenced by puberty. You can't go back and say, oh, well, for those who already went through puberty, you can't go back and change that you went through puberty and say, well, I'm not living there. I'm going to, no, it affected your body. Your body is completely changed from the time that you were an infant, toddler, child, and then when adolescence hit and puberty showed up, your biological body from emotion, mental, physical shifted and changed. And whether some of that was not the most pleasant, we all know that has been through puberty, it wasn't the most pleasant, right? There are some times that we didn't like what went on. And I say that because there are some things that, as we talk about the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr., the things that happened wasn't pleasant, but he stood in the face of what wasn't pleasant and spoke a dream, spoke what he saw for the future that was based on what he saw from the past, and let it affect his present. And we are living in that legacy today. And again, not only him, we have a lot of African Americans that have done that, and we have names, and we're going to learn more about that next month and as we continue with our legacy topic. But I want you to hear that concept that he had to use what has went on, even if the past was yesterday. We were segregated against a couple of months ago in his time, a couple of years ago. That still is previous. And he had to remember, he had to bring that back and connect it to the present. And remembering helped him to leave a legacy and this speech of a dream that we can continually hear his voice, see his face in this video, even though he's not physically present with us any longer. Unfortunately, because people just never mind. So, yes, I want us to take that. And I could talk a lot about, mental illness and things like that, but I think that's really important because a lot of times we don't want to face what has been in our past, and it hinders people from healing. And that definitely applies to mental illness or mental, emotional health. I say mental, but emotional health and mental health. If we don't look at the past, if we don't look at what's happened, then we are lacking information that can absolutely affect our present to radically, I won't say eradicate, but to radically shift how we would use that information for our future. We can't use what we don't know. So, and we'll talk next week about ignorance. Is it really bliss? So you'll find out more information about that. Because sometimes we think, well, if I don't want to know about it, and we try to ignore it. And we say ignorance is bliss, but is it really? And in this case, he had to use what he knew. Not comfortable information, but the uncomfortable is what brought the revolution, is what brought the change. It's what changed the hands of slavery to freedom. And we're still pushing to get that equal right, still pushing to make sure that we're not discriminated against in all facets, on our jobs. And so in schools and in every capacity that we could have civil and equal rights, right? We are looking for that because we have a past of somebody that was here at that time that allowed it to affect their present. And now it's affected our future, or affected the future, where we don't have to endure some of the same things that have been endured in the past. And we need to do the exact same thing. What are you leaving? What's the dream that you're having? Have you forgotten it? And I'm going to encourage you, if you have, remember it again. Whether that's a dream of health, leave a legacy of health, leave a legacy of wealth. And wealth is not just financial, wealth is information. Leave a legacy of wealth for the generation that's here and one that's going to come. Leave a legacy of respect and dignity. Let's leave a legacy of work ethic, because some of it has just kind of went out the window for some people. And I get that we have had a lot of shifting with COVID, and not even just with the pandemic, but just shifting in life. And sometimes that can take your motivation and drive. But if we remember, if we bring back to our mind, connect that again and say, I really love baking. I really love listening to people. I really love helping people solve problems, which is why I do what I do. I really love seeing people have an aha moment. I love seeing people, and I'm talking about myself personally now. I absolutely love seeing people healed and healed to the point that they didn't even believe that it was possible. And that is what the expressive arts, drama therapy, and the type of therapy that I offer does. That's the legacy that I want to leave, that healing is possible. Yes, it may have been 10 years, 5 years. I've been going through this for 2 years, however long you've been going through or experiencing something. Again, slavery was happening for hundreds of years. But they didn't stop and say, well, this ain't going to never change. Somebody had to say, I have a dream. And it wasn't just Martin Luther King Jr., of course. People were pushing before that. We have got to change this. Even though it's been a long time, I believe that we can be free. Somebody had to remember. Somebody had to see, even if they like, I've never seen that, what that looks like before, but I'm going to pull in my mind and connect history to present so that I can leave a legacy for the next generation to live on. And so I just want to leave you with that as we are commemorating, and you have probably had the day off and enjoying the rest. know that somebody paid for you to have a rest. Um, and of course, you can blend that together, but many of our ancestors have paid to make sure that our present is what it is today. And we need to do the same and not just focus on ourselves, but leave a legacy for those who are going to be coming after us. So I encourage you, do you remember the dream? And if not, I'm going to encourage you to dream again, to remember, to allow yourself to bring that back to mind so that it can affect right now and you can leave a legacy for our future. I hope you have a great, blessed, and beautiful week. Again, I said I wasn't going to be long, but I want you to remember when you were young and innocent, somebody was able to maintain that safety for you. And so it's important that we do the same for our children, young and innocent. And some of them are being exposed to things we don't want them to. But again, it's our job to remember and leave that legacy. Thank you for listening to another Drama is Life. We hope that you will RSVP to join us for our movie on the 27th at 3. You do have to be present in Terre Haute, of course, at that time to be here. But we hope that you would join us and come and celebrate another year that we have been here because we're leaving a legacy as the first African American owned counseling practice in the area. Have a beautiful night and a beautiful week. See you next time.